Now we're going to put the circular buffer class to work in a program called test circular buffer. And the test circular buffer constructor, we're going to create a circular buffer object, and it's going to have room for 8 items to store in that circular buffer. That circular buffer is just going to be called C, so the object called C is a circular buffer object. So we're going to try now to store and retrieve data from C, the circular buffer object. So you say, okay, we are printing the message storing 1, and we store a value of 1 in the circular buffer. And we say we're reading 1, and that's going to read the value of 1, the circular buffer. So we should presumably see storing 1, then reading 1, storing 2, storing a value of 2, storing a value of 3, storing a value of 4, and then reading. So that should read the most recent version, most recent value, which is going to be it's going to read the earliest version, which is going to be 2. Then you're going to read 3, then you're going to read 4, and then you store 5, store 6, and so forth. And so all these read and storing operations are going to take place, and we're going to store up to a value of 12, and then do all these reads and see how things come out. And that's going to illustrate how to use a circular buffer. And let's take a look at so this is the actual code. This is going to create a circular buffer object. We're going to have room for up to 8 memory items in it, and I'm going to store a value of 1, a value of 2, and then read these values and so forth. And keep going until we have read all the data from the buffer. So here's what it looks like. I'm going to run it, Java test circular buffer, and that's what it looks like. I'm going to read a value, and that turns out to be 1, storing 2, storing 3, storing 4, reading, and that reads the value of 2, storing 5, storing 6, 7, 8, reading value, and that reads the value of 3, which is the next value at the head position, and so forth. So as you see, all this does work out, and it's a viable way of working with the circular buffers in Java, and it's a good way of efficiently handling your memory storage and a good design pattern. So that's the circular buffer design pattern.